So, Seamus Heaney, that absolute legend, hits us with a banger of an opening line. So, the Spear Danes of days gone by. That's how he opens up. Right away, we're smack bang in the middle of the warrior culture. We're talking about Denmark, just before the Viking Age. Given that some parts of the story take place at about 530 AD, we're going before that. We don't actually know for sure, but, you know, it's the kind of vibe we get reading the fucking poem. Now, these are the tough bastards, ruled by a courageous king. Heroic champions, true fucking alpha males, not those namby-pamby manosphere bros. The focus is on warrior values, strength, courage, and a general penchant for smashing faces. The early Danes were basically Viking rock stars, and their people absolutely fucking loved it. Or at least they're shitting themselves too much to say otherwise. Rule by fear. And then BAM! We get a name. Shield Sheafson. Sheafson? We get a name. Shield Sheafson. Now, this bloke was the real deal. He was the mythical founder of the Scyldings. Picture a dynasty of Danish super kings who conquered and ruled Denmark, Sweden, a decent chunk of bloody England, Ireland, and northern Germany. We're talking about proper fucking domination of Europe here. Shield is the bloke who sets the standard. This is the guy that all the kings of Scandinavia wanted to emulate. He's the ultimate embodiment of heroism and leadership. Here's what every Scylding king aspires to be. But let's be honest, he wasn't exactly Mother Teresa here. He was a bloody good king though. Wrecker of Mead-Benches. The poem pulls no punches. Line B4 tells us that Shield was a scourge of many tribes, wrecker of Mead-Benches and rampaging among foes. Wrecker of Mead-Benches. Now, that's the chef's kiss, isn't it? That's poetry right there. What it means, of course, is that he would sack or raid mead halls. There's a book, The Origins of Beowulf by Sam Newton, and he talks about the symbolism of smashing the benches, the mead benches. It was kind of like if you cut off the top knot of a samurai, it was like literally that's the end. You're done. It's the biggest insult. He would trash the place, destroy the benches where the warriors sat. It's a brutal image. But remember, these kings earned their power and their strength. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. These are people who took what they wanted. But here's the twist. Line A7 reveals that Shield was a foundling. Yes, it uses the word foundling. He was abandoned as a baby and taken in by someone, we don't know who it was. Now that's a bloody underdog story if ever I've heard one. You go from being abandoned by your parents, adopted by some random dude, to becoming a king. You know, you can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. Did he prove his fucking worth or not? He rose through the ranks and soon enough, every clan was paying him tribute. And yes, he did earn it. They were basically paying him taxes to stay on his good side. It makes you wonder though, what about his parents? Did they regret abandoning him? Did they even know who he grew up to be? Did they even care? From here in, we get a detailed family tree of the Scyldings. Lots of names you'll forget very quickly. But the important bit is that we eventually end up with Hrothgar, who builds Heorot, the ultimate mead hall. This is the mead hall, a place where all the action goes down. Scholars reckon that Heorot was based on a real great hall discovered in Legere, Denmark. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Legere. L-E-J-R-E. Here somewhere. Heorot was a symbol. It was the heart of the kingdom, a place where warriors gathered, celebrated victories, and plotted world domination. Or, you know, just a place to get shit-faced and tell stories. Building Heorot was a statement. It said, here we are, we're powerful, and we're not going anywhere. It was the ancient equivalent of building a massive skyscraper, a way of showing off your wealth and influence. If you wanted to impress your neighbours, you built the biggest fucking mead hall.
So far, so good.
Let's recap, shall we? We've got a warrior culture ruled by heroic kings. We've got a dynasty founded on a foundling who became a legend. We've got a massive mead hall that's the centre of the kingdom. Everything's coming up Millhouse, right? Well, not exactly. Here's the catch. And in Beowulf's case, it was the monkey in the wrench. You see, all of this feasting and celebrating in Heorot was creating a bit of noise. And not everyone likes this vibe. Enter Grendel, the OG party pooper. Yeah, We don't know exactly what Grendel is. Is he a demon, a monster, a misunderstood outcast?
He's like every current spirit animal.
All we know is that he hates the noise and the joy coming from inside Heorot. Some say it was the gospel singing. Frankly, I don't blame him for that. And he decides to do something about it. He doesn't call the authorities and make a complaint. You might say he is what happens when you ignore the quiet kid. And the quiet kid turns out to be a psychopath. Grendel begins to slaughter the warriors that populate Heorot. Night after night, for 12 long years, Grendel attacks them. He snatches up unsuspecting people, crushes their bones, and feasts on their creamy centres. Heorot becomes a bloody nightmare, a massacre. Everyone is shitting themselves. Hrothgar and his men are powerless to stop him. They're tough warriors, but Grendel is something else, something more. People run thinking the end is nigh. The place is becoming the talk of the town, and not in a good way. The whole kingdom falls into despair. Hrothgar and his people are fucked, helpless against Grendel's terror. That's when our hero enters the story, the big man himself.
I'm Beowulf!
He hears about the mess going down in Denmark. A young warrior with a reputation for being a proper tough guy. Gathers his best men, sets sail across the sea and heads for Denmark to kick Grendel's arse. So, that's the first 70 lines out of 3,182. But we know the players, we know the setting, and we know the stakes. Now remember everything that we've just learned. If someone breaks your Mead-Benches, you're well within your rights to rip off their arm and hang it from the rafters. Well, that'll be later on, but you know, jokes. Yeah, jokes. In the next part, we're going to explain how Beowulf kicks Grendel's ass. However, I don't know when that's going to happen because I haven't written that bit yet. You guys have a happy Monday, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and like the video if you like the video, and I'll see you on Wednesday.